How's it going, guys and gals? Welcome to the Under Construction Icarus XP video studio here on, well, Icarus, obviously. It's very bare bones at the moment. We only started it a few hours ago. So, yeah, welcome. This is what it looks like so far. Hopefully it improves over time. But in this video, I'm going to go into how you can make steel ingots. You require them for some of the stockpile missions. And obviously just in general for making some things here on Icarus. So if you find this video useful, as usual, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Icarus content. So the first thing you're going to need to be, I'm just going to get it straight out there, is you need to have tier 3 available to you. You need the tier 3 tech tree available to you. So don't sort of do the stockpile mission when you are like level 1 unless you expect to spend a long time on that particular mission, because you're going to need to level all the way up to be able to get this stuff. Okay, so that's what I'm going to get out there first, as well as the fact that you need iron ore and you also need coal. So both of those things, start stockpiling them from the beginning. Don't just walk past all of the coal nodes. You're going to need coal. All right, you're only going to need, so it's 1 coal per steel ingot. All right, so you're not going to need like 1,000, but it's just worth keeping hold of it, because the last thing you want to be doing is searching around for it when you've got everything else that you need. All right, so we're going to start at the very beginning. And the first thing you're going to need to, or the first things that you're going to need to actually build in terms of your tech tree is going to be a mortar and pestle. And you're going to need an anvil bench and a stone furnace. And obviously your crafting bench as well. All right, so in the crafting bench, you need to make a mortar and pestle. You also need to make a stone furnace, and you need to make an anvil bench. So what you do is you're going to need to use the stone furnace to make some iron ingots. So go farm some iron from the caves. Use those iron ingots to make the anvil bench. Okay, and in the anvil bench, you're going to be required to make some iron nails. All right, this is because you need iron nails to make this puppy just here, which is the machining bench. Now, the machining bench is required to make any tier 3 items, so you're going to need the machining bench. Breathe, Callum. It's very early in the morning, actually, while I'm recording this. I don't know why I'm awake. Anyway, so yeah, so you made the machining bench. From the machining bench, you're going to be required to make a cement mixer and a concrete furnace. Now, the cement mixer requires wood, stone, iron ingots, which you've already got access to by this point if you've made the furnace, and iron nails, which you're going to have access to if you've made the anvil bench too. Once you have made the cement mixer, you then need to make cement or concrete mix, which requires tree sap, stone, and silica ore. Tree sap you get from sticks. You can just take sticks over to the mortar and pestle, and you can grind some sticks down into tree sap. I shall show you now. Boom. There we go. We've got some tree sap for that. So there you go. Now you've got that, and you can make the concrete mixer. The concrete mixer requires steel bloom to make steel ingots. 1 steel bloom, 1 steel ingot. So the last thing you're going to need to know is how to make steel bloom, which you do in a mortar and pestle, which you've hopefully already made by this point. Hopefully you're still with me. So the mortar and pestle, you can either use iron ingots, so it's 3 iron ingots, or 6 iron ore, which basically means if you've already turned your iron ore into ingots, you don't need to worry. It's not going to cost you anything extra. You can just make the ingots into the bloom instead of making the ore into the bloom. It will cost you the same amount. So iron ore or iron ingots and coal ore in the mortar and pestle to make the steel bloom. We'll make one now. So I happen to have 6 ingots in there and some coal. So there we go. So we can craft 1. Takes 9 seconds to make. Roughly 9 seconds. That goes a little bit quicker. And we'll take that over into the concrete furnace, which we've obviously already made, and put the steel bloom in there, activate this bad boy, and there we go. You can see it takes about 12 seconds to make 1 steel ingot, and boop, there we go. 2 steel ingots in there. Deactivate that one to save the fuel. All right, so required required materials that you're going to need to make all of this stuff we'll go into very quickly at the end. The mortar and pestle requires stone and silica oil, so you're going to need silica. You're going to need rope, which is just fiber. Stone, leather, wood, and sticks to make the stone furnace. In order to make the anvil bench, you're going to need iron ingots, wood, and stone, which is obviously you need to make the stone furnace first. You're going to need the machining bench. This one requires wood, stone, nails, iron ingot, epoxy, and rope. If you're wondering how to make epoxy, by the way, that can also be made in the mortar and pestle. I'm glad we started going through this, actually, because I forgot about this. So you need sulfur and tree sap to make epoxy, okay? Or you can use crushed bone. So this is going to depend on what situation you are in as to which one is the best one to use. If you are, for example, in the desert biome, then you might as well use crushed bone, because sulfur is going to be harder to find and bones are going to be really easy to find because there's just going to be animals everywhere. No doubt anyone who's been in the desert biome knows that you spend like 3 minutes in the desert, you've already killed like 30 animals. So crushed bone if you're in the desert biome, but anywhere else, usually sulfur is going to be your best bet and the cheapest and easiest thing to do as far as making epoxy. So there you go. That's how you make epoxy. Once you've done all those, obviously machining bench wise, as we've gone through this already, you need epoxy, you need concrete mix, iron ingots and rope. And the concrete mix is made in a cement mixer, which only requires iron, nails, rope, iron ingots, stone and wood. I think that's everything. I've tried to go through this so quickly. Hopefully it wasn't too quickly for everybody. But yeah, hopefully you find it useful. That's how you do it. You're going to need to be tier 3. Main thing to remember, you need iron ore and you need coal.